Welcome to ScratchStart. In this session, we are going to do the tab components function. That means when we click the tab button, the corresponding text value should appear. So I have already created variables using the selectors. So I will write the logic straightly. So when we click the button, for each button should this operation will happen. So I am creating a function called button. Inside that function I am using another thing. I am selecting the button again. What means when we click that button the operation happens, right? So I am reading an add event listener and giving it the operation event as click, and it executes the function. The function, and what this function does is, inside that function I am creating a new element variable called tab id, and this gets the from the button, it gets an attribute using the get attribute method from the class data tab. So using data tab, you can see the data tab is 2, 3 and 1. For each button it will have a data tab. From this data tab it will retrieve the data content. That means if data tabs value and data contents value matches, it will display the paragraph, the text corresponding passage, or the paragraph, or the text, or the corresponding string value, if you can say it that way. So for the initially, to make the operations seamless, we have to clear the existing class, the existing active class, the active button. That means when I click each button, the class active will get assigned for each of the active buttons. Here I have selected fixed tab 1 as an active button, so it is active here. So when I click tab 2, all the active class will be removed, and then it will again, that active class will assign to the tab 2 button, and then the corresponding text will appear. So that is what we are going to do now. So to remove active class from, we have to remove it for button and the passage. So I am selecting the buttons variable and using for each method, say the function button, and we need to remove the class. So from the button function I am removing the class list of active, and for the content I am using the same method, contents, for each the function, and the function is content, using the same method, content class list, remove the active class, and that's all. Now we have removed the active classes from the buttons and the content. So now when the button is clicked, we need to assign that active class back to the active button. That means the button we are clicking. So we have to activate click the button. For that I am selecting the button, using the class list from by method, add, and the class is active. It is simple for this for the button. For the passage, for that means for the content, as I already said, this tab IDs, data tab value and this data content value should match, right? The data tab, here the tab ID gets the button that gets the value directly from the data tab, so it gets that value, and the paragraph, the data content value should match. So we have only when that condition matches, that text paragraph will appear. So right, so to show the corresponding content, I'm selecting the contents variable using for each method and executing a function called content. Inside that function, I'm using an if method content get attribute data content that should match tab ID. As I said, it will have both values, right? Tab ID, and only then it will add the content. It will add the content, the class list of active. So when the tab 2's data tab index value, data tab value, and data paragraphs data index content value matches, the paragraph text content will appear. So that is the condition. So that is all the logic writing, the codes. This is the correct logic. So when I refresh and when I click the tab 2, all this will happen in just a like snap of a second. So when I click tab 2, it will again erase the active class from the tab 1, and it will again assign it to class 2, and it checks whether the data tab value and the data contents values are matching, and then it will display the content. That's what happened in the background. It will happen in just a second. When I click, why is it not appearing? There should be an error, some error. Oh, see, I have added triple D, 3Ds. I am refreshing. When I click, see, it is functioning for tab 2 and for tab 3. So the logic is working and the program is working. So that is how we do the tab component shifting. It is used in mainly in, as I've seen in the previous session, like a FAQ accordion. It will used in this method too. It can be used by this method too. You can either use accordion method or this method. Both are equal, and it also have other uses too. Like if you see in the official websites, any kind of official website, you can see multiple tabs on the home button. When you click click that button, you can see corresponding contents will appear. Like in menu, you will have login, sign up, and that kinds. And in products, we will have the services they offer and things like that. So it will be used there for that purposes mainly. So yeah, this is how we write the component tab component shifting, and that is it for today's session. And consider liking and subscribing if you like my content, and I will see you guys in the next session. Thank you. Have a nice day.